ערן, אני לא יודע אם אתה מצליח לעשות את זה בדרך כלל, אבל אם תהיה עם וואטסאפ פתוח, אז אני אוכל...
אני עם וואטסאפ פתוח, אורן, בסדר.
אז גם אני, רק עליך.
מה אני רציתי להעביר לך? גר.
בסוף כמובן דבר על...
תעדכן אותי במידה ותקבל איזושהי התייחסויות בנושא הזה.
מה זה התייחסויות? הם ממש לא, עוד רגע הם מתייחסים אליי, כן.
בוא נראה.
לא משנה, תשמע, בוא, אנחנו לא...
ערן, אני שומע אותי?
שומע אורן, שומע.
אז רק בשקופית האחרונה אני שואל אותך על ה-Search and Rescue, אז טוב, אתה כבר תדע מה להסביר, להגיד תודה, ב-75 וכזה. אם אני אחשוב על עוד משהו לכתוב לך. אתה יכול להציג את הדס, בסדר, אם אתה רוצה?
אני אציג את הדס, כן. טוב.
Hello, I'm Nina Paul. I am the Assistant Vice President of Campaign for Jewish National Fund USA. I hope you all had a very meaningful Passover surrounded by your friends and your family. There's no question that our weather is becoming more extreme. Here in the United States, we're experiencing some of the most active tornado events in recent months throughout the Midwest and the South, more extreme tropical storms and hurricanes along the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic coast, and the West Coast that's had been battered by intense rain and snow this past winter. And while all the water is welcomed and helpful because of the drought, it's caused a lot of property damage and loss of life. Israel has also seen extreme weather, and the flash flooding in the central Negev and the Arava has been unprecedented. Last week, flash floods took the lives of a brother and a sister from Tiberias who were hiking in the Negev, and Israel's emergency rescue response teams were called upon to rescue dozens. Today, we're joined by Oren Hefetz, JNF-USA Israel emissary, who among many duties manages JNF activities in the central Negev. And during his 24-year military career, Major Hefetz was an Israel Air Force helicopter pilot who himself was responsible for many of these rescue missions. In addition, we are honored to have with us the mayor of Ramat HaNegev Regional Council, Eran Doron, who was on the ground as part of last week's emergency rescue operations. So Oren, let's hear from you first.
Thank you, Nina, and hello, everyone. This evening is the beginning of the Holocaust Memorial Day in Israel. Next week, we'll celebrate the 75th birthday of our homeland. Not before, we'll dedicate a day to remember our brothers and sisters that sacrificed their lives to make sure that the Jewish people will have a home to live in. Even though we are discussing a different topic today, it was important for me to mention that. Today, I oversee the Central Negev Task Force that is in charge of 25% of the land of Israel, from south of Be'er Sheva all the way to Mitzpe Ramon and all the way east to Nitzana, right by the Egyptian border. In the last few months, Israel has been fighting for its security and the country's identity. We are all hoping that in the next 2 weeks, all sides will find a path to lead us to the next 75 years. And in the middle of all that, last Monday, the skies opened and we experienced 2 days of severe weather, one that we haven't seen in Israel for decades. Though we used to see floods from time to time in the southern part of the country, this time it was different. In 2 hours, we saw the rainfall of a full year with very strong winds and dust. Dozens of people were caught in the storm, most of them with families in their cars. Eran Doron, the mayor of Ramat HaNegev and a volunteer in the Har HaNegev Search and Rescue Unit, is joining us today to share some of the details from the rescue operations that took place last Monday. Hi, Eran, and thank you for joining us. Eran, can you tell us how it all started, and was it a surprise for the rescue units?
Thank you, Oren, and thank you for joining us, and your caring of what's going on in Israel is always touching me, and thank you for this. I want to introduce also Adas Nissan from Ramat HaNegev Resource Development Department. And about last week, so there was a notification in advance, but no one understood ahead of time that it will be in the same volume. The flow that was expected was not the actual flow that happened eventually. And we have to understand that those kind of notifications that we have, that we get all along the winter, probably every week or every 2 weeks, and the outcomes of this kind of notification that the police need to decide whether they blocking the roads or not. Usually they don't. If there is something, they do block it, and unfortunately in this case, they blocked the area a little bit later than what was supposed to happen, and that's why we found more than 60 people stuck in those huge floods between Elat and Mitzpe Ramon, and they couldn't not go back, and they couldn't move forward to the north because they were stuck between a few floods. And you see the damages that were. I know this area for many years. I never saw this kind of damages on roads as I saw it this occasion. And we have to understand that this flood, it was the highest peak since 93. So the last 30 years, this flood was the highest peak, and it was twice as strong than the one that was in 93.
Yeah, damages. There are still a few roads that I think are still closed in right next to Mitzpe Ramon, and indeed it was very severe. You can see it here in some of the pictures. The Air Force participated in the efforts. Few squadrons flew for more than 100 hours in 2 days and evacuated many to different hospitals. Around how many volunteers and units attended the search and rescue operations?
On the second day, it started the Monday afternoon, and during Tuesday, I assume there were probably around 400 people searching. Probably around approximately 100 of them were volunteers from 4 different search and rescue team units. The Central Arava, that they conducted the search. Ara Negev, our search and rescue team were the second to come. Then En-Gedi came, and then Arad came. With them, in addition to them, there was the division, there was the brigade of the area, there was the K9 units, and there were a basic training soldier that came just to screen the whole area, because we're talking about hundreds of square meters that need to be searched. It was very hard to find something in this flood. You can imagine, and as you can see, unfortunately, my unit found one of the brothers, and it was very hard to find it. And the helicopters, Oren, and you know it from your own experience, they went back and forth many times. I think 12 hours in a row, and it was hard to find it. So we needed to bring more troops, more soldiers, more volunteers of the search and rescue team to scan it with helicopters, with horses, by foot, with drones, with every means that we had. We just needed to scan it in order to prevent the option that the bodies will be drifted into the east part of the Faran Wadi bed, which is east to route number 90, the road that connects Elat and Dimona and the center of Israel. And in order to prevent it, because we understood that if the bodies will be drifted, there is a big chance that they will move or will flow into Jordan, and then God knows what would happen. And I think one of the biggest, it's hard to talk in terms of success, but I think one of the things, the good things that we did, that we succeeded to bring those brothers to be buried in their hometown in Tiberias to their parents. And as when I say it, my skin is like, I have a ghost, I say, anyway, you understood it.
Yeah, you have goosebumps, and I think that you can understand the size of the flood when you are the car of the brother and sister was found more than 4.5 miles away from the point that the flood hit them. So it was very hard to search with this weather and all day and all night. We can see how many people were searching all over the place, and I think that we have one video. Let's see it, and then let's I'll let you explain what we are seeing.
So you can see the Air Force unit of the search and rescue unit together with the Air Force is pulling out someone that the water actually came above his lips, and we rescued 12 people that I can tell you that if we wouldn't take them in the last minute, we wouldn't talk about only 2 people that lost their lives. We would talk about 15 of them, because there were 12 or 13 people that needed to be pulled from their cars minutes before the water came above the cars, and we finished this event with less casualties than it could have been.
Yeah, I can tell you from the Air Force side that this is one of the toughest missions to rescue someone from his car most of the rivers were flowing, the water was flowing. So it's not an easy mission to do, especially during nighttime with the wind. We can see a lot of people are evacuated. But as you can see, after all, we also have some nice pictures from the desert. I wanted to ask you another question, Ron, about the search and rescue units. Jewish National Fund USA built a search and rescue center in the Arava a few years ago, and now we are building the one in Sde Boker, when you can see the building in the picture, and we hopefully will open it by the end of the month. Can you explain its necessity for the search and rescue units?
Yes, I think one of the rules that we know it's always and it's true for everyone, for the police, for the medical assistance, and of course the search and rescue team, that as quick that you will respond, the golden hour eventually can influence about the outcomes of what will happen. And if you can give immediate response, you will be more efficient when you need to do whatever you need to do. And this is exactly what this center is for. Today, all those rescues that we do, and we do around 100 rescues a year, everything is done from a living room or kitchen houses of the volunteers. This is not the right way. And I don't want to say that unfortunately, we lost lives because of it, but there is a chance that it happened. And in order to save more lives, to be efficient, to be immediate, this is exactly what we need to have. And this search and rescue center will provide immediate response that is crucial, especially in those cases, because you saw it from the helicopter, and we know it from people that got injured or fall or got lost and they are dehydrated. Once you have a way to control and to use this the toolbox of what we have, I know for sure that we will save more lives. And when we save more lives, people are feeling much more confidence to travel in the area where tourism, where we are area that, as you know, we are based on tourism. We try to develop the tourism of the area. We want tourism to come and tourists to come, and that's to see in the entrance of Ben Gurion campus and next to Ben Gurion gravesite, to see this beautiful building. The picture is less good than the reality. Usually we have better photos than the reality. The reality is better than the photo. I guarantee those of you that will come for the mission, the 75 mission will see it. This place, I know for sure, I can promise you, and those of you that know me, I don't promise something that I cannot deliver. I promise you, this place will save life. There will be life that will be saved because of this place. And it's again, opportunity to say to you, thank you so much for everyone that was involved with this, with the construction of this very important center. And just one more comment, Oren, for something that you said before. I want to say the fact that we had one survivor from this flood, it's a miracle. We couldn't believe that someone that was drifted for between 5 to 6 miles, that someone can survive. Think about the volume of this flood, and someone survived it. Once, it says that there is God in the heaven, in the sky, but second, it's something that we cannot ignore it, and for us it's a miracle, and we're very happy, of course, with one survivor. Unfortunately, it didn't happen to the other. Again, I'm going back to the building. With this building and with the great volunteers that we have, the great passion, the practice and the training this unit does, I'm sure that we will save life.
Yeah, and again, for all of you, if you're interested in more details, we still have a lot of funding opportunities, naming for the building. I put my name and email on the chatter so you can use it. And yeah, we are all looking forward to open this facility on April 28th with all the 75th mission that will visit in Israel. So I want to thank you, Evan and Hadass, for joining us tonight. And hopefully we will only use this building for training and educating people and travelers and high schoolers how to travel in the desert and not use it for other stuff. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Oren. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oren and Mayor Doron, for your very moving and dramatic update. Hi, everyone. I'm Susan Farber, co-chair of JNF's National General Campaign Division and chair of the Central Negev Task Force. My task force works in partnership with Mayor Doron to identify opportunities for JNF-USA to make strategic investments in his region and elsewhere in the Central Negev. As Mayor Doron described to us, the Har HaNegev facility, this will provide much more better service and hopefully save more lives in the region. As well, what they're doing as well is we're building homes together with the USA Housing Development Fund, and we're also developing the Yorotham River Park and an Innovation Tech Center in Mitzpah Ramon. All of these projects are very important, and there are many opportunities for you to donate to support this important work. In addition, many of you know Jewish National Fund USA is responsible for fundraising in the US to support Israel's firefighting services. Chaired by Penny Rosen, our Fire and Rescue Task Force raises the dollars necessary to build fire stations. In fact, Penny and her husband, Stephen, are in Israel as we speak and have just dedicated their second station. Kol HaKavod, friends. Also, the task force sponsors fire trucks, other rapid response vehicles, and provide fire equipment so Israel's brave first responders have the best state-of-the-art equipment. Finally, among the work supported by JNF-USA, to protect her citizens, we are building bomb shelters throughout the country. This program is driven by our Gaza Envelope Task Force under the great leadership of Betsy Fisher. Over the next few years, there's a need to build about 150 more shelters in the Gaza Envelope and the Central Negev. If you point your phone at the QR code on your screen, you will be directed to our website to learn more about all the project opportunities I just mentioned. Thank you again for joining us today, and thank you for your continued support of JNF-USA. Bye now.